when do you think Bitcoin is going to increase? I've invested $100. When do you think it'll be worth $3,000? Should I sell? That's not really what I'm looking to connect with. I want to connect with somebody who's going to reach out and say, where do you think the future of blockchain is? Not so much the price of it, because the price is intrinsic. A matter of, let's host panel events. Let's host whatever we can do to bring awareness to them, and by default, bring awareness to us. Build our network, build their network, bring trust into the blockchain space, because now we have companies that are disrupting the market and they're doing it the right way. So these are the Tune Token, Dex Freight, Stays. These are all companies that are local to Miami.
Thank you so much for tuning in to bitsandtokens.com. I'm Jerome.
I am Fernando Rivero. I'm the president of Bloktech Networks, and I'm ready to talk some crypto.
Awesome. And blockchain. I love the name Bloktech. What inspired the name, and what are you guys doing?
So we host meetups. We try and educate people as much as possible. We understand that there's a lot of negativity around blockchain and cryptocurrency, and we feel that bringing education into the game and just educating individuals on what it is will eventually remove some negative connotations around blockchain and cryptocurrency. So what we do is we host events every month. We're in different cities, we're also in different countries, and essentially we try and bring people together and talk about different concepts about blockchain and cryptocurrency. So what we like to do is we'll do mix and mingles where people can just come and meet people in our networks. And we also do panel events where we talk about specific things. So tomorrow we're gonna have a panel event in Atlanta specifically where we're talking about smart contracts. And we have another event in April in Miami where we're gonna be teaming up with EOS Miami. And we're also gonna be at the Venture Cafe and just kind of bringing people together and just educating individuals as much as possible.
And I wanna know more about the events that you guys host, and what do I expect to learn when I go to, let's say, the event in April?
So every event is different. When you attend our events, it really depends on what event it is. If it's a panel event, you can definitely expect to connect with some leaders in that specific space. So if it's mining, we'll have some mining specific people. If it's trading, we'll have some trading specific people. Whether it's AR, VR, blockchain is really disrupting a lot of different spaces. And the question is, how can we incorporate blockchain into the current economy of how things are, and how can it make it better?
Why Miami?
Well, Miami is a hub for a lot of different things. I think that we have a lot of different cultures. We have a lot of different individuals, and we have a lot of people from different countries that are coming in to try and escape different types of, I guess, governments.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think of Argentina, you think of Venezuela, you think of what they're going through, you know that they're trying to spend funds or trying to move their funds from those countries and potentially bring it to the States because it's more stable. So the question is, can we connect with those people in those different countries and still stay in the States? So we do, Bloktech does have events in other countries. Those countries include Venezuela, Peru, Chile. And from our networks in Miami, we've been able to expand to those different countries, and we're looking to expand into other countries. But you did touch on an interesting topic, the internet. So I do feel like the evolution of the internet is something that we're also going to see in the blockchain space. I'm hoping it's a lot faster. We don't have to wait 30, 40 years. But to me, it's all about trust. The internet, when it first started, 70s, 80s, people didn't trust the internet. And now, as opposed to back then, I'm doing things that my mother told me I should never do. I'm living in a stranger's home with Airbnb. I'm going in a stranger's car with Uber. And I feel like if people were to trust blockchain or cryptocurrencies and believe that there is a value behind it, understanding the technology, whatever the case may be, depending on the use case that they need it for, I think it could evolve into what people are hoping blockchain can evolve to.
And I definitely believe it can evolve into a massive economy. One of the first implementations of growing the mass adoption would be one, informing the consumer, two, informing the merchants, on the other hand, that will be accepting these form of payments. How do you navigate the correlation, the connection between the customers who you're educating and, well, is there any way that we can educate more of the merchants? Are you guys focused in that aspect at all, and being able to bridge that gap so that way somebody that has crypto right now can be able to go to the store and be able to purchase something with their crypto?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because a lot of people, the first question I get from a blockchain cryptocurrency perspective, what is blockchain? What is Bitcoin? Oh, it's a type of currency. Okay, what can I buy with it? Not too much. So, I mean, it's evolved. We can definitely purchase more things now. Miami's been at the hub of that, selling homes, selling different types of things, innovating what you can buy. I know that Miami is also working on a center that's going to be accepting Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, so I think that's very interesting. But as far as who we collaborate with, it's really dependent on who comes into our events, who comes into our network, and what they're looking to gain out of it. So we do have some merchants that come in and they say they're interested in cryptocurrency or blockchain, and they want to learn more. And these are the individuals that maybe we want to connect them with some sort of POS service that can accept cryptocurrency. And that's something that we're actually working with now, potentially with a company in New York, to try and bridge that gap.
Any information that can be disclosed yet?
Not at the moment, unfortunately.
Understood.
But it's going to be a restaurant, and that I can say, and they will accept at least the 4 major types of cryptocurrencies. And hope I can say this: they will be the restaurant will be part of a hotel, and the assumption is that the hotel will also be accepting and trading currencies.
Great. So a place where you can be able to stay and eat and utilize the cryptocurrency that you've invested in, which, as people that go to these locations will hopefully see that, and will see more adoption to this space. I want to touch more on Bloktech's reach, and how are we going to expand and get more people into your network? What's the roadmap?
So I'd say Bloktech and myself, I'm very passionate about growing the network, but I'm passionate about having it grow with the correct individuals. So I'm constantly looking for people in different cities, states, that are interested in learning more, interested in networking, and push themselves. So we've got different communities right now. So we're in LA, Atlanta, North Carolina, as well as Miami. And the way our model works is we try and connect with 2 people in a specific city or area, and have those 2 people host events, connect with people, and really network as much as possible, because there's a lot of individuals that want to learn more, but they don't know where to go to get that knowledge. What I've noticed from all the events that we host, there's some people that like Bitcoin, and they want to talk about it with their friends. They want to talk about the trades that they made. They want to talk about all the gains that they've made. Sometimes they want to talk about their losses, and they start talking to their friends about it, and nobody knows. So they're kind of like, who can I talk to about what I'm doing now, what I'm investing in, what I'm putting my time and money into? So those are the people that we do want to connect with. They're looking outside of their network, and they're looking to connect with other people. And I believe that at a certain point in your life and your career and what you're doing, you do have to step outside your circle and try and make new connections and meet new people. And those are the people that we want to meet. The people that are trying to step outside of their circle and learn more about blockchain, network more as much as possible, and they understand that this could potentially be the future. This is a disruptor. It could be really, really big.
How can they find you?
Okay. So we do have our website, blocktech.network. Through these videos, through what you guys are doing, I think Bits and Tokens is really pushing the envelope as far as connecting with locals here in Miami, making sure that we're able to relay our message virtually. So that's been great. We're also connecting with people on Telegram, different types of apps. So think of Eventbrite, Meetup.com. Once we are able to connect with certain individuals through Telegram or whatever the case may be, we'll then start coaching those individuals on how to network, where to network, what types of people you want to connect with. Our reach is fairly long or strong, I'd say. We've gone to Forbes events. We do have some influence in China, Latin America, some in Europe and the States. So it's been very helpful as far as how to expand and building the brand out. I think that it's not too hard to find somebody who wants to get something for free. It's hard to find somebody who is not expecting something for free and is willing to put in a little bit of work and grow their network. Recently we started expanding Atlanta end of 2018, and connecting with the people who are managing the Atlanta chapter, they'd say, it's not so much about the money, even though it is one of the underlying values, but in the last 8 months being part of the Bloktech family, they've been able to expand their network more than they ever have. And they tell me about it all the time. They thank me and they're like, hey, I wouldn't have met these people if it wasn't for you. We do know people that host conferences, host events, and that allows us to go to different events. Unfortunately, last year, 2018, we got invited to a little bit under 4 conferences a month, all over the States, all over the globe, and we can't go to all of them. So that's where we connect with other people. And hey, you're in Atlanta, you're running our Atlanta chapter, we've got Atlanta conferences or events that are asking us to go. Be our representative, be our manager, go connect with people, do what you need to do to build your network, because you're going to add value to yourself and to us. And honestly, it's not always only about building yourself, because at the end of the day, if blockchain becomes the new norm, then I'm also going to gain. Whether I'm making money from you hosting events for us or not, that doesn't really matter. What we care about is bringing blockchain to the forefront, making it normal, making it day to day. Like, I don't feel like people should be scared of it. I don't feel like people should say it's a scam. I think the volatility is killing us, unfortunately. I like the fact that over the last 8 months, and I am a hodler, so don't get too mad at this comment, but I like the fact that it's slowly increasing. Dropped down to the low 3s, and at this point it's just consistently increasing. It's not spiking up and dramatically dropping. I think that this constant increase in normalcy, in price, in adoption is good. The more that people start using it and finding some sort of functionality with it, I think that's great.
The more it'll grow the value. Thank you for that. I want to really go into 3 different segments now. First, starting with how did you guys get to this point? I guess the history of Bloktech, and then more of somebody that is watching this that may want to join Bloktech and start maybe their own chapter in Mississippi or Colorado somewhere. How do they get a part of Bloktech and continue what you guys have started? And then I want to know more of your growth into this area.
Okay. So the easy question there is how to reach and connect with us. So feel free to email me, miami@bloktech.network, BLOK. There's no C there, just in case if there's any confusion. Bloktech started a couple years ago. My partner, Robin Lamb, he really just started connecting and hosting events. He started off with potentially 3 people just getting together and talking blockchain, talking crypto. A little bit after that, he hosted a couple more events, and eventually people started coming. When I jumped in and joined Bloktech as a company, It was an interesting time. We were going through a rebranding at that point in our company's lifetime. And I reached out to Robin and I just told him, look, I believe in what you're trying to do. I believe that building a community is the future as far as how to connect with people and educate them. I think it could be done better. I think it could help. And if you want to utilize me, I'm here. I'm not the type of person that will say, I've got what I've got and I'm going to hold it tight. I do it usually. I'm a little gullible sometimes where I kind of connect with people and I open up my networks. But you know what? It's luckily, and I'll knock on wood, to this point, it's really helped me. It hasn't gone against me. So far, I can say that most of the people that I've helped have helped me back. And some of the people that I've helped and haven't helped me back, it was minimal effort. So I guess I learned my lesson for a cheap cost as opposed to an expensive cost. But I think that, I know that as we grew, what we started doing is we started reaching out to people and just saying, hey, we're hosting an event, let's come and talk. And what we found at first was that not too many people were interested in learning about blockchain that were coming to our events. We actually had companies coming to our events saying, hey, we're interested in connecting with communities. If you've participated in ICOs, and I have, you'll notice that one of the factors, or at least one of my factors when I'm doing my own research, is how large is their network? How large is their community? How large is their Telegram? So if I'm a startup in Miami and I want to get out there for my ICO, for my startup, what I'm doing, I need to knock that check mark. I need a check mark in that box. I need to have a community. I need to engage with people locally and across the nation. So how do I do that? I start going to meetups. So we did connect with a lot of companies. And as we started connecting with companies, we would leverage them and say, do you want to speak? And of course they do, because that's going to bring awareness to them and their brand and what they're trying to do. And once we did that, then it was a matter of, let's host panel events. Let's host whatever we can do to bring awareness to them. And by default, bring awareness to us. Build our network, build their network, bring trust into the blockchain space, because now we have companies that are disrupting the market and they're doing it the right way. Yes. So these are the Tune Token, Dex Freight, Air Stays. These are all companies that are local to Miami that are disrupting their space, whether it's the music industry, logistic industry, hotel industry. There's just so many different types of way that you can disrupt using blockchain. I think it's amazing, to be honest.
What got you into this space now, though? Like, how did you get invested? When did you first find out about Bitcoin? And part of the question of when did Bloktech come together, I wanted to know exactly what date or year was that initiated, and then I guess when did you become president and get to the position you are now?
So I'm not sure the official first date of Bloktech, but I know I got into the company itself mid 2018, to give you a time frame. Once I jumped into Bloktech and what they were doing, it was just a blur after that. I did start going to Bloktech events in 2017. Saw some great people, saw some great speakers. Igor, the head developer for Ethereum Classic, Eric Mendelsohn, the person behind Tune Token. I mean, there's just so many people that have gone to events. Some of them, I know they have clout, don't remember their names. Some of them could be the McAfees of the world, which we've had at our events. In, say, 2014, I was doing my master's program in FIU. Actually, a little bit before that. I had taken some money, say 10 grand, put it into the stock market. 2-3 weeks before the crash, big crash in 08, kind of rough, right? So I took those funds and I held them for a little bit of time. And somebody in my class had mentioned Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and I was like, it sounds cool. And it was extremely volatile. I studied finance, more so stock valuation, pricing, Forex, things like that. So what I started doing is I jumped into Bitcoin specifically, and I started investing under 500 bucks. And I haven't looked back since. It's been a fun ride. Now I've been looking at different projects. Not now, I'd say 2018, 2017, I was really deep in the game as far as doing your own research, waking up at 1 in the morning Eastern time, because that's when the Asian market kind of wakes up. And so, yeah, I would wake up at around 1 a.m. in the morning and connect and log on. My wife hated me at the time because I had an alarm and I'm a snoozer. So I would start at maybe 12:30 and snooze all the way to 1, eventually wake up and start trading. It was a fun time. I would participate in that. I would participate in some pump and dumps, don't quote me on that. But I was definitely in a lot of different rooms. And eventually what I found was, I found myself in the same shoes as some of the people that come to our events. I'm interested in blockchain, I'm interested in cryptocurrencies, but I have nobody to talk to about this with. I have nobody to connect with and on a social level to say, it's a Friday night, I'm out, I'm drunk, I want to talk about what I'm doing day to day, my gains, my losses, whatever the case may be. I did connect with a friend of mine that did end up investing, and it was fun. During that time, once the crash came, he kind of pulled out. And since then, I started just reaching out to different meetups and just how can I meet with more like-minded individuals that believe in blockchain. They're not here for the pump and dump. They're not here to turn $100 into $1 million in a month, which I'm interested in. If the opportunity is there, feel free to let me know. You have my email. But I do feel that a steady increase is what we need, and stability. Because if Bitcoin is going to be the next gold or a store of value, it cannot be that volatile. My vision for whichever cryptocurrency is going to be the standard, it only needs to meet one rule. It needs to steadily increase year over year at a higher rate than the cost of living of where you're living. That's it. As long as I can store my money and I'm not losing value year over year, people will put their money in there instead of putting it under their mattress, instead of putting it in other locations that don't earn anything. It's not like the banks are going to give us anything.
I love how you transitioned from somebody that was just sitting at their computer and trading on your own. What, I guess, got you to get the guts to go out to that event, and then not only go out to the event, but now take over and you're president? How do we get to this position?
Well, it's not easy. First few events that I went to, honestly, I would go in, I would bring a friend of mine, and if somebody was interested in going, and I'd sit in the back, I'd listen to what everybody had to say, I'd take whatever I can if it was free, if there was beer, whatever the case may be, hang out, have a good time with my friends, and leave. And over time, I would just realize I'm not getting everything that I could be getting out of this. I would try and talk to speakers, and you would have those people that would run up to the speakers after their panel discussion and just hoard them for an hour and not let other people talk to them. So I was never really about that. I just cared about connecting with people that were like-minded. I did meet one person and I was like, man, it's kind of cool. It's easier than I thought it was going to be. And then I met another person and, oh, it's great. I enjoyed that too. And what I started doing is just coming to events and just, my go-to question is, why are you here and what brings you here? And people would start talking and opening up. And I thought that was amazing. I thought that a lot of the people were there for the same reasons I was. And when you're kind of in your own little bubble, you don't really think about how many people are trying to do the same thing that you're doing. Mm-hmm. And if you kind of pop that bubble and you go look around, it's like, you're not the only one. You're not alone. And people say that across the board for everything. You're not alone, whether it's math, science, English, tech, Bitcoin, blockchain, crypto. You're not alone. You've got people that believe in it, because if other people didn't believe in it, it wouldn't be where it's at right now. And it's just, I feel like it's growing so much faster than the internet. I mean, just going back to that point, If the internet took 30 years, I see blockchain taking maybe 10, 15. Less if I'm lucky, but 10, 15.
We're at the 10-year mark, so I guess that leads to the next question of where's the 5-year projection, both for Bloktech as well as for all of blockchain? Where do you see it going?
So our goal last year was to expand to within the states to at least 4 other chapters, and that was in the middle of 2018. Our goal for 2019 was to expand, I think, 4 or 6 chapters. We've already expanded 3. We want to do another 4 this year, so we've kind of increased our goal. We do want to funnel all those different hubs or locations into one large conference where we can bring all these companies, bring all these disruptors and visionaries to one location. We are going to be having our second year of that this year, and we're calling it Mining Disrupt. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be July 24th in the DoubleTree in Miami. So feel free to come and check it out. The website, Mining Disrupt. Tickets are available. The speaker list is out there. It's going to be a combination of disruptive tech companies as well as mining. And what is mining? Just because people don't really know what it is. Our goal is to expand as much as possible. So we want to be in as many cities as possible. One of our check marks that we wanted to knock off this year is going into a country that we're not in, and we're doing that with China. I would personally like to go to Europe, have a chapter in Europe. I would love to try and
Australia.
Australia, Argentina. There's just so many countries that I feel like we can add value as far as educating people, connecting with the people, and just connecting with the businesses, because a lot of the companies and businesses, they have really good products, but they don't know how to convert that into a community for themselves. So how can they, I've got a great product, but if nobody uses it, it's not necessarily a great product yet, right? So we want to bring awareness to those types of companies. We want to bring awareness to the disruptors that are saying, we found a use case, we're solving this problem, we want to bring people into our network, and we want to be able to provide that for people. So the question is, how can we do that?
And I definitely think you guys are on the right path with these events, with the conventions and getting people in the room together, utilizing Eventbrite and Meetup and the different social media aspects, now utilizing YouTube and having these videos. I can't wait to see the growth. Going forward, I want to see what would be your advice to someone else that is in your shoes now that you and I were in recently. What do you advise to them to get more engaged in this space and how to get involved?
I mean, the easiest answer to that is pop your bubble. Get out of your day-to-day. Don't do something different. If you feel like you want to get to another stage or learn more, then do it. Don't think about it, be about it. Just take that extra step. So one of the things that was hard for me when I first got into the market was I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what to do. But now we got companies like Bits and Tokens that you can reach out to and ask questions. I can jump on a live stream and ask them, hey, I had this issue. How can I solve this issue? Or how do you feel about this or that? Like, there's so many people now that are advocates for blockchain that it's not as hard as it used to be. The hard part now is getting out of your comfort zone and saying, I want to connect with these people because they're there and we want to help and we're looking for people to connect with. But you've got to make an effort too, because, and you might feel me on this, there's a lot of lost time when you connect with people that aren't as like-minded or have hidden intentions or agendas. So one of the most popular questions that I get at my events is, when do you think Bitcoin is going to increase? I've invested $100. When do you think it'll be worth $3,000? Should I sell? That's not really what I'm looking to connect with. I want to connect with somebody who's going to reach out and say, where do you think the future of blockchain is? Not so much the price of it. because the price is intrinsic. It's based on us. We generate the price based on what we feel is a fair value. It's not like somebody's controlling the price, right? It's not like there's a company that has a value behind it that's saying, hey, we've got this many shares, my company's worth this much, divide the two and give me a earning per share. It's for the people, by the people. So I feel like if you do want to get into this space, make the jump. Do your own research, DYOR, right? That's another acronym that's popular. And just do it. Just do it. There's a lot of different ways that you can do that. Going to our events, going to our website is obviously the easiest one. But now that we're collaborating with Bits and Tokens, I think it'll also be very helpful to be able to do it from anywhere. So whether I'm in Miami, whether I'm in Miami or not, if I'm not in Miami, I can still virtually be a part of it through Bits and Tokens and what you guys are doing. I think it's very helpful on how you're able to connect with local companies in Miami and eventually expand. I think that it's going to be helpful to drive traffic to those companies. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you and Bits and Tokens as much as possible. So we will have our event in April. So feel free to follow us or check that out in Eventbrite. All you got to do is jump on Eventbrite or Meetup, search Bloktech, BLOKTECH, and you'll see our events. And more than likely, you'll have Bits and Tokens at those events. And we will be recording most of them. We'll be putting them online. We're going to be jumping up on to your live streams as much as possible on Thursdays at 9:30.
Thursdays at 9:30 and Sundays at 9:30. I will also mention, because of Game of Thrones coming, we're gonna move that up just a little bit, just for the Game of Thrones season, and then it'll be right back to 9:30 on Thursdays and Sundays. I thank you so much for your time and for the events. So that's April 18th. We'll be doing an event with them, as well as May 2nd, and then the conference is in July.
Yep.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Pleasure.